the year 2000. It began with the relief of a crisis averted, the Y2K bug, and a world filled with the optimism of a brand new millennium. While the world held its breath for a digital collapse, the transition was surprisingly smooth, clearing the way for a year of unprecedented change. In June, science reached a pinnacle. The completion of the first draft of the Human Genome Project was hailed as the Book of Life, changing medicine forever. By November, humanity established a permanent presence in space. Expedition 1 arrived at the International Space Station, starting a record of continuous habitation. The tech world hit a speed threshold. Intel and AMD raced to break the 1 GHz barrier, forever changing our expectations for computing power. Entertainment was revolutionized as well. Sony's PlayStation 2 launched, becoming the best-selling console in history and a dominant cultural force. Even botany saw a breakthrough. The first plant genome, Arabidopsis thaliana, was sequenced, providing a blueprint for modern agricultural science. Demographic shifts were equally historic. India's population officially surpassed 1 billion people, marking a significant milestone in global history. But the euphoria wasn't meant to last. In March, the dot-com bubble began to burst, wiping out trillions in market value and thousands of startups. The crash sent shockwaves through the global economy, signaling a sobering end to the speculative boom of the late 90s. Politics took center stage in November. The US presidential election between George W. Bush and Al Gore became one of the most contentious ever. Disputes over Florida's ballot counts left the nation in paralysis for 5 weeks, a crisis that tested the very foundations of American democracy. The Supreme Court finally intervened, halting the recount and effectively awarding the presidency to Bush in a landmark and controversial decision. In Russia, a new era began. Vladimir Putin was inaugurated as president, marking a shift toward political centralization and a more assertive foreign policy. The digital world faced its own crisis. The "I love you" worm infected millions of computers globally, causing billions in damage in just days. It was a grim reminder of our growing vulnerability in a hyper-connected world, a precursor to the cyber challenges of the new century. Tragedy struck the skies in July. The iconic Concorde supersonic jet crashed shortly after takeoff from Paris, claiming 113 lives. The disaster effectively ended the era of supersonic commercial travel, a somber moment for aviation and the dream of ultra-fast flight. Beneath the waves, the Russian nuclear submarine Kursk sank after an explosion, a tragedy that gripped the world and sparked intense criticism. In October, the attack on the USS Cole in Yemen served as a terrifying precursor to the global conflict that would define the following year. Yet, there were moments of global unity. The Sydney 2000 Summer Olympics were celebrated as the best games ever, bringing the world together. Featuring new sports and a celebration of a century of female participation, the Games were a highlight of a year filled with extremes. The year 2000 was more than just a threshold. It was the bridge to our modern world, defined by both our greatest triumphs and our deepest challenges.